everybody. Today I'm going to take you on the farm garden update, and I hope I'll remember to show you everything. We often forget quite a few things when we do these, but I'm going to start in the garden today. Our garden is divided into two sections, and then we actually have a third section that runs up along this entire fence line. So I'm going to tell you about those. Our lower garden tends to be where we put our cold hardy crops. Typically we direct seed those. We've had some bad luck with that this year, so we did buy some plant starts. So we'll start with the bottom garden. These two rows are our early potatoes. We'll harvest those early for smaller, more tender potatoes. The next two rows are all of our cold hardy greens. This is all of the kale that we transplanted a couple days ago. It's looking great. We do have a hard frost coming in this weekend, but it should be fine. Kale usually does perfect in cold weather. This next bit of bed is where my Swiss chard didn't do very well, so I have some new plants to stick in there. I have mustard greens next, and then I have a few kind of different like purple turnips there. This bed here is where I do all of my lettuces and spinach. I have at the very beginning full head romaine, then I'll have baby romaine, I'll have a mesclun mix, and then this here closest to me, this is my spinach area, and that's my arugula. I would actually love to double the space for cold hardy greens. So probably next year I will do that here with these potatoes, or actually this fall, maybe even 5, because here's my onion bed. This is a 30-foot row. I have about 200 onion plants here. They're all thriving. Then we have 2 beds of strawberries, and then I've interplanted some herbs and some flowers into the strawberry beds. Strawberries look incredible. This is something new I'm doing this year. I may regret it because it'll be harder to weed the strawberry beds, but I've put a whole bunch of cilantro on the edge of these beds, as well as calendula. And for now, I'm really enjoying it. I'm about to get my first harvest of cilantro. I should probably make tacos tomorrow so I can do that. So as you can see, the lower part of our garden is divided into 2 sections. So I just went through the first section. Now we'll go over to this section. This lowest row is another bed of onions. And then this here is our spring planting of carrots. We'll hopefully get a fall planting in as well. And you can't really see the carrots. They take a long time to germinate and come up. So what we like to do is just every now and then put in some rows of radishes just to kind of encourage us that something is alive in there and growing. And it's just a good use of space as well. The next 3 beds in this lower garden are broccoli and cabbage. So many people have asked me from a video a couple days ago about what these bendable wires are that we use to hold up our bug netting. You can also use it to hold up like ag fabric. An ag fabric extends your season. It can also keep bugs off. I think what you need to look up is hoop house wire or low tunnel wire. Low tunnel wire hoops. That's what I would look up. I'll try to find a link and put it below this video for you guys because so many of you have been asking. But if you Google low tunnel wire hoop or hoop wire, it should come up. I buy these at a local garden store, so I didn't even think to link them in the last video. Hi, you're home from work. Arthur's home early, which is always a wonderful surprise to this mama after a long day.
Howdy, folks.
Many have asked us why our beds are still covered, and we are just keeping our beds covered with this silage tarp as long as we possibly can. These 3 beds are going to be tomatoes. I'm pretty sure I'm only going to grow 1 variety of tomato this year so I can save seed. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Amish paste tomatoes. I just want to make a lot of sauce and a little bit of salsa. And we don't eat a lot of fresh, big slicing tomatoes, but I may change my mind. Total in this lower garden, we have 16 30-foot beds. And there's something I forgot to show you. These are all of my sugar snap peas. And I really like using my fence for trellis so that I don't have to think about trellising. So this fence always gets used for sugar snap peas, and the fence on the far side of the lower part of the garden I'll be using for cucumbers. Now we're up at the upper part where we have 20 30-foot beds. So far we have 120 feet of potatoes planted in 4 beds. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a pretty wide path up the middle. We like wide paths. The rest of this garden will be 120 feet of green beans, 120 feet of corn, right, green beans, corn, 120 feet of sweet potatoes, and then 120 feet probably of some pumpkins and winter squash. We have planted berry bushes along the edge of this fence up to the top and across just a little ways where it gets enough sun. These trees will shade that back part of that garden in the summer, so we can't grow much up there. We could probably do some greens up there though. So, ooh, maybe that's where I'm gonna put my new green beds. That would be a great place up there where it gets a little bit shaded in the summer. Would be a great place to grow summer greens because they would thrive longer. The heat wouldn't get to them as much and it would act kind of like a shade cloth. We have elderberry just thriving. It is looking so beautiful and lush. How many elderberry bushes do we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
But they're putting up shoots all the time. It'll be a big mass of them.
Mostly along this fence we have raspberries. We have a spot here where a few died, so we just pulled out some shoots that came up this spring and stuck them in the bald areas. And those plants are doing incredible. Literally growing like weeds. 2 things in the garden I'm already remembering that I forgot to mention. And one of those is our children's gardens right here. They're doing okay. We really need to come in here with them and sit with them and help them weed and maintain. I really want my kids to experience the fruit of the harvest this year, and not just in mine and Arthur's larger gardens, but in their specific gardens. I want them to experience that. So probably this Saturday, I'm gonna come up here with them, sit down, clean their gardens up with them a little bit, and just encourage them. Because when your garden gets all weedy and messy, it gets very discouraging and it's very tempting to give up on it, especially as a child. I mean, especially as an adult, much less as a child, you know? So their gardens are looking very good. They're picking what they get to put in there. Some of it I would definitely not pick, but it is their garden. And the last thing I forgot to show you is our amazing compost pile we have going on here.
It's almost 30 feet long. It's shrunk in the past few days, but they tend to do that.
It's settling down.
It'll be shrunk way down by next spring. Hopefully by next February or March we can throw it on these beds. I'm hoping to get it all up on these beds up here. And it won't, I mean, it's a big pile, but it'll just put an inch, hopefully an inch or 2 inches on top of all these beds up here.
So that covers our main garden. I do hope to one day have some smaller vegetable gardens around the property, but mostly what we have is our blueberry garden. And then we also have like a flower kind of herb garden down in the front of the house. But our blueberries are looking good. We planted these last year and you can see some gorgeous blooms on them. Just so beautiful. One thing that surprised me was I planted a bunch of chamomile in here last year. I've never had chamomile come back season after season, but we had a really mild winter. So this chamomile is jammin'. Let me show it to you. There is so much chamomile in here. I couldn't be more excited to harvest it for tea. And it's even, I don't know how this happened. It's even coming up outside of the blueberry garden. Blueberry garden, yard. We have this geese run that runs all the way up, and we keep the geese in here to keep them close. And they also keep the weeds down in our orchard. We do have to keep wire cages around all of our apple trees so that they will not eat them and eat the bark and eat the leaves off. Our big hope with our geese, so many people have asked, our goal is to hopefully have broody geese that will hatch out geese for us every year to raise for Christmas goose, not only for ourselves, but hopefully to either sell or give away to family and friends as a Christmas present. We had a mom sitting on a clutch of eggs, and she stopped sitting on them. She was on them solid for a good 5 days, and then she just gave up. This is where she was sitting on her clutch, so I'm actually gonna go in there and count and see how many eggs are in there right now. We're pretty disappointed that she stopped sitting on those eggs, but what can you do? We can't make her. We're just leaving them there. We're hoping that she's going to get inspired once again to sit on them. What we think happened is we started letting the geese out into this pasture every day so that they could go down to a creek that's on the other side of here and also enjoy all this fresh grass. I think she got jealous and wanted to follow them, so I actually started keeping them back in the orchard and not letting them out every day, but she hasn't returned to sitting. So we're not giving up yet. We're gonna just wait and give her some more time on that.
One of those apple trees has 15 apples on it. I think the big question for the coming days is what's this freeze gonna do? It may freeze all the raspberries, it may freeze the blueberries.
It's pretty exciting. We have an apple tree that has 15 apples growing on it. I think this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 apples just on that one little spot. We actually, though, will not let this tree grow all of those apples out. It just couldn't handle the weight of it. Patience is the name of the game with so much when it comes to homesteading or growing your own food, raising out animals. Patience. This here is our brooder. We have some chicks coming in the mail. They're all egg layers, I think in a week or 2. I'm not sure if we're gonna keep this out here. We were planning to brood them out here. That's why we got our shipment so late, so that we could have them outside. As cold of a spring as we've had, we may need to put them in this barn, in the brooder. Of course, we'd have a heat lamp and everything. I think we are getting like 26 chickens, but a lot of those, Gracie is actually, maybe not a lot, but a third, I think, of those, Grace is raising up to sell as started pullets. I think, because I think she's gonna sell them at 6 weeks old. I think she's planning to charge $15 per chicken. So that's a really good business, is to get chicks and raise them up and then sell them off when they're already started. A lot of people really feel intimidated by having baby chicks. This is our front garden and our front yard. We just had one run of compost, one run of major weeding, and it is about to get filled with more compost and then tons of perennial flowers and herbs. But look here, let's see what's growing. Irises. Those irises are from the lady that owned this house before us. Her son actually sold us this property, and she was known in the whole town that we live in as an amazing gardener, not only of vegetables but of flowers. And apparently this whole yard used to be filled with flowers. But the only things that are left that we get to appreciate and enjoy are a few irises and a few daffodils. Man, I wish that I could have seen this garden back in its glory. This is an area that we often forget to show you guys. It's directly in front of the camper, next to our main barn, and it is our cherry orchard. So we have cherries growing. We have 3 large cherries, and then we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 small bush cherries. And they do have blooms on them this year. I don't think we're gonna let them fruit. Oh look, not just blooms. I think we just planted these last year too. Arthur got like a deal, an end of year deal, I think from Starks Brothers, where the plants were super reduced to get them sold and get them planted. And yeah, we buy a lot of our trees and perennials from Starks Brothers. These are all the plants that are going to be going in. Not all of them. Some of them will be waiting until after the frost this weekend. A lot of these are going in my front yard garden. Borage, yarrow. The marigolds are actually mostly going up in the big garden. Then I have some spinach and Swiss chard to fill in the gaps where my germination didn't go well. Sage, hyssop, and hollyhocks. Those things are all for the front yard garden. Then I've also got over here this beautiful oregano plant a friend gave me, lemon balm from Arthur's mom, and then all these lupines. I do plan to put all of that in the front yard garden. I'm kind of taking a gamble with that since things don't usually grow well there, but I'm just gonna do my darndest and make sure it does grow well this year. Would you like to go help me do chores?
Yeah.
Thanks. We'll update you guys on the animals as we put them to bed for the night. So if you remember, I got 4 new hens and a new rooster a couple days ago. You found the rooster. Everyone's getting along really well. We're still keeping them in the chicken run while the new guys learn their routine and where home is. But I have a sick chicken. No, I'm gonna grab this little hen. This little hen, she's eating and drinking, but she's not running around scratching. She's just kind of standing in a huddle, puffed up. Well, she looks fine now. But she's been doing that. Well, maybe she's fine. But it's concerning me. I want to find out what's going on, even if it turns out to be nothing. She's just been standing away from the flock for the last 2 days, all huddled up, puffed up. But she's still eating and drinking. So I don't know. I just don't really want to come out here to a dead chicken. See, just like that, just puffed up.
She also keeps shaking her head.
Yeah.
Can you crow like a rooster?
One thing I do when I'm keeping my chickens in their run is I spread their feet out all over the place, so they have to kind of work to get it. Gives them something to do all day. Keeps them from getting super bored. There she is. What you doing, Mama? What even is this? And where did it come from? I have a couple friends who know a lot more about chicken illnesses than I do, because we just haven't really had chicken illness.
Yeah, I see ducks.
Okay.
No ducks. Find it! Find it! I find it! What's it, ducks?
This run that we've had our goats in for the last week is about eaten down. They have loved it out here. Want a little feed? Want a little food? So we will actually be moving them up above our garden into the woods, and they will be so happy and thrilled to have fresh weeds to eat, and we will be happy and thrilled to have them clear that area for us. A lot of you have asked, why are we not running the goats with our cow? And the answer to that is it's a lot harder to fence them in. But for right now, we have some pretty big jobs that we're excited for them to do. And they have just made this area along our fence super clean. This area that we usually don't get to like explore and use to walk up the mountain behind our house, now we can because it's not overgrown.
I don't stop. I don't stop.
I feel like for the most part things are going really well with the goats. There are a few little hiccups, 2 main ones being they are super picky eaters. I've had to change their feed now a 3rd time, and I'm just not able to get them to eat what I've been giving them. And the other thing is they won't take the wormer. They won't eat the wormer that I'm used to giving my goats in the past, and these goats really need to be wormed. So I'm hoping to figure out a way. What I usually do is add molasses to their feed or add molasses to the wormer and make treats, and that's not working. I tried peanut butter yesterday, and that's not working either. Peanut butter and oats yesterday was my concoction. So I am gonna probably have to get a drench gun. If I can't get it worked out in the next couple days, I will just have to use a chemical wormer. But I think if I drench the herbal wormer, it's gonna be fine. I think I'll be able to get it done. Otherwise, I milk them every morning. I'm getting enough milk to provide for my family. Nothing extra as far as making cheese and stuff, but I'm okay with that right now, especially with the busyness of the season. I'm really enjoying my goats. I do like this breed, but I am on the lookout for Nubians, but I'm not aggressively looking. I just really adore that breed. So I think that the right Nubians will come to me at the right time. And for now, I'm just very pleased with these beautiful, sweet mamas that are providing for us a really highly nutritious staple in our family's diet. Yeah, you're a good girl. Okay. You having fun in there? Okay, it's time to come out. We gotta go see Miss Alice Cow. You guys want to know where Wilder is?
I know.
You want to get out?
Yeah.
Okay, don't let any goats out.
Don't let go out.
Yeah, don't let any goats out. Did you pour their water out?
Yeah.
Okay, hey, stay right there. Don't go out that gate, okay? Wilder was in here with the baby goats playing. Let's get them some new water.
I'll do it.
You'll do it?
Yeah. I'll put them out.
Can I help you a little bit?
Mommy, baby.
Okay. That's good.
That's just a bit more.
Okay, next time don't pour their water out. They need that water. There you go, babies. Say goodnight, Monica.
My mother.
Oh, Daddy's already out there with the cow. Come on. Wilder, you coming with Mama or staying here?
Mama, I love you.
There's not much to update on Alice because we talk about her almost every video. We're still rotating her through the pasture. She's still mostly eating her favorites, which is the clover. She's due to calve in 2 months, July 9th, if my observations were correct. She's bonding with us more and more, which is really nice. That was one of the reasons we had we rented out our bull and went ahead and beefed our steer, was so that she could get more connected to us and less connected to the herd. I couldn't even walk up to her and put a leader up on her a month ago, and now I can walk up to her, scratch her neck, fill her belly, put a leader up on her and lead her. So I feel like things are going really well with her. Yeah, our pastures look really good. So many people keep saying you need to spread your manure, and we actually do. We spread our manure, we spread her manure, not our manure. We spread her manure every day to fertilize the pasture and to minimize the spots where she won't eat due to the buildup of manure. Alright guys, it has been a lovely day on the homestead. It is an absolutely gorgeous spring evening. I hope all your plants hang in there this weekend with the big freeze we're getting. If you're in the frost warning area, it's a very late frost for us, but not unheard of. We'll see you guys in the next video.